Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Sunshine, how are you feeling today? It is Thursday, which means we are that much closer to the Easter weekend, long weekend break. I have to say, if you guys are going on a trip this weekend, or if you're going to be out on like the water on a boat or something like that, I am extremely jealous of you. Let it be known, because I would totally love to be doing that this weekend. I'm thinking of going on a hike, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see who we got here with us for today's morning report. We've got Caroline, good morning, Ramster, Stephanie, Tadisha, Jessica, Nikki, Jasmine, Venetia, Michelle, Petty LaBelle, and more of you watching us from the bushes in silence. Hello to all of us who are joining us from the bushes. It's so nice to have you guys as well. Good morning, Erin. Erin says, you know you love it when you're scheduling appointments around the Grace Report. So sweet. Thank you, Erin. What a compliment indeed. Good morning, Kels, Gwen, Kahara. Oh, Kahara, you got a new picture too. Girl, I love when you guys, because I recognize you guys because we talk 5 days a week, right? So whenever you guys change your pictures, like yesterday it was Tadisha. She went from yellow to pink. And now we've got Kahara here. Wow, this is so beautiful. Are these passion twists? I really love them on you. You look so beautiful. You guys are all so pretty and so chic. I remember when I was in London with Kempire and his crew, that was like my first impression of them too. Y'all know I love beauty. I love beautiful people. I love beautiful things, beautiful places, right? I was like, you guys are all so beautiful, so well dressed, so chic and everything. I love it. Good morning, Ashley, Ronnie, Monica, Cynthia. Oh, Monica, is this a new picture too? This is so pretty too. Nice to see you, boo. Wow, we're all here and I love it. I know there's still more of our peeps to join us. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm looking at Monica's hair. Is this like a purpley kind of like a tint of your hair, like reddish purplish? Burgundy, I think is the color. I love it. Absolutely beautiful. How are y'all? And shout out to Theo as well. We miss you. And where's our girl Shem Jem? We miss you, Shem Jem. East Awesome said he had something going on. We miss you too, East Awesome. And what's our girl's name from Montreal? Boss Lady. We miss you as well, Boss Lady, and all of our peeps. Did I see Kristen here yet? I don't think so yet, but I'm sure we're going to see her. We're going to see Hold My Foot Joe. Oh, look, we were just talking about you, Shem Jem. We were wondering where you were at. Shem says, my day is starting off like crap, but I hope this makes me feel better. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And I hope so too, Shem. We've got so many stories, so many videos. And so I really want to bring some levity to you guys' days. And yes, Kahara, they look really beautiful on you. You look gorgeous. Allie's here as well. Nice to see you, boo. Allie, and who else? Star, we miss you, boo. Listen, I think maybe Star found herself a nice rich man in Miami. Because we haven't seen her since she went to Miami. Maybe she got hitched over there or something. Girl, let us know. Let us know. You guys, we got so much to talk about in today's episode of the show, okay? We're going to be talking about Bobby Brown dissing Britney Spears' cover of his song. Remember how she released that awesome song, My Prerogative? He hates it. He also had some comments comparing Michael Jackson to Chris Brown versus Usher. Michelle Trachtenberg's death. We've got an official cause of her passing as well. Cheyenne Floyd from the Real Housewives, not the Real Housewives of Potomac. What am I on? I think it's because she passes the paper bag test. So I was kind of like linking her to that show because you got to pass it to be on that show. With the exception of like Wendy and Candace. So Cheyenne got her ring upgraded. I got the photos and videos to discuss that. Khloe Kardashian is talking about that time that she mollywopped Lamar's mistress. Serena is denying that she was shading Drake when she did that dance at the Super Bowl. Sure, Jan. Nene has a lot of opinions on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, including the last minute addition of Phaedra, Porsha Williams's authenticity towards her marriage. Lisa Vanderpump is finally denouncing James Kennedy. And then we're going to end on a really good note, the Abbott Elementary story. So one of the Abbott Elementary stars got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and the cast was all there to support her for that. So I thought it was lovely. And by the way, you guys, after today's morning report, I'm going to be testing out this new concept. One of you, and I believe it was you, Allie, who mentioned wanting members only lives. So we're going to start trying that out after this with a story about Jace Evans from Teen Mom 2. We already did a story about that on Monday or Tuesday's episode of the Morning Report. How Janelle Evans called cops on him, accused him of like throwing things around, destroying the inside of her house and whatnot. And so we're going to talk about some of his social media posts that have been rather worrisome. It's going to be open to everybody to view. However, it's members only live chat. Okay, you guys, that is just a test for today. I want to do that exclusively on Mondays, member Mondays, but I just want to see how it's going to go. Okay. Why don't we start off with the Bobby Brown story, shall we? So he was on the most recent episode of Club Shay Shay, and he started talking about how he hates Britney Spears' cover of his song. She sampled it to release the iconic My Prerogative, and he said it's so bad, he felt like she butchered it, and he just could not take it, which is shocking to me because My Prerogative is such a good song. Everybody's talking about that. You know what it reminds me of? And I think that Lindsay Lohan song that came later, Rumors. I'm tired of rumors. I feel like that was based off of My Prerogative. I feel like it was Bobby with his song, whatever that was called, I guess My Prerogative as well. Then it came Britney Spears' version. And then I think that Lindsay took inspiration from it and took it to like a different place. Just a suggestion, just a hunch. Good morning, YouTube addicts. Hope you are doing well on this fine Thursday. I gotta ask you guys, do you like the Britney Spears song, My Prerogative, or do you prefer Bobby Brown's version? Do you think that she actually butchered it? Because when I heard both versions, to be honest with you, I didn't even think that like his version was all that different, you know, like, okay, her voice is different, but like it was Britney freaking Spears, like her, you know, kind of raspy voice that she likes to do, like that is iconic. And it's what makes her so famous and popular, right? So when he was talking to Shay Shay about it, Bobby Brown said, and I quote, Teddy Riley produced it, but that was a butchering that I couldn't take it. I cleared it only because it was Britney Spears, and I was thinking Teddy Riley is doing it. So, you know, but these days I learned my lesson from that. Now I have to hear like what people are going to do with my music in order for it to be cleared, because you don't know what these kids will say these days. These kids say some ish that you don't want your song associated with it, which I think is fair, right? Sometimes these people are going to go say crazy things. This is a big reason why people no longer want Kanye West to use their music, right? Because Kanye, you know, he's a self-professed KKK or Nazi or whatever. Why would you want someone like that using your music? In general, right? And then especially like blindly, absolutely not. But I think he's being a little bit harsh for Britney, because it's not like Britney said anything crazy on the song. Like she sang pretty much the same things he sang, right? And it was a good song, and it was a very popular song. And I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I imagine that Britney's version probably made more money for him than his own version did. Just saying. Hey, Shayna. Shayna says, good morning. I almost forgot what time it was. I am so happy that you're here, Shayna. Just in time. We're just starting out now. Ramster says, Bobby Brown, he's still around. Yup, apparently. And I think that he's now doing the rounds on like platforms and whatnot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did he not like try to do like another family reality show or something? So after the passing of Whitney Houston, there was a reality show that like spotlighted her daughter, Bobby Brown Jr., right? And I watched it personally. I thought it was rather interesting, but really depressing as well. Like Bobby Brown Jr. did not seem well at all. Her relationship with like that guy that was like raised as if he were her brother was very weird as well. That guy, what is he up to even? I would like to know. Like, and so now I think Bobby Brown is trying to do his own family reality show, and that's why he's talking so much. Ali says it reminds me of that girl singing "It's Friday." It's the same kind of register, that kind of register. What note is that? Any musicians in here? La 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 la. What note is that? Steph says Bobby doesn't want to be in the shadow of another woman. Maybe that's it. You really never know. Maybe he's mad that her version eclipsed his. But that happens even when Dolly Parton was the one who wrote I Will Always Love You. And, Whitney Houston came along and just made it into a larger than life song. Come on now. Y'all don't like my note. Oh, what is that? A-T minor for a terrible note. Minnie says, I like the Britney better, but when I hear remakes nowadays, I think the originals are better. I think it's just that I prefer whichever generation I relate to more. And I think that has a lot to do with it, because oftentimes you'll hear people saying, and I always notice this, people prefer, when people talk about their favorite generation of music, right? So for me, it's 2000s music. And then I have a friend, and it's like R&B, like soul, like that's my fave type of music. Even in the era of rap, I prefer 2000s rap, right? And then I have a friend who prefers 90s R&B, soul, and rap. And then, I'm like, wait a minute, this friend is older than I am by 10 years. And so I'm kind of getting the vibe that like people like the music that they love the most, or the type of cartoon or entertainment that they love the most, is when they were in the golden year for that stuff, which is around 10 years old. When you first hit those double digits from like 10 to like 16 or something like that. I don't know. That's just my hypothesis, right? And so you just reminded me of that with your comment, Minnie. I don't know if y'all feel the same. Y'all let me know. Rancher says it's nice to hear Brown using the word butchering while he has a whole closet full of skeletons. Damn, Rancher, you are starting so early. You're not pulling back any punches. JJ says years ago, Bobby admitted on the talk show he likes his version. Also, he's been saying the same thing for quite a while now, hasn't he? So listen, I like that he's at least consistent. He better be careful though. What is the name of Britney Spears' fans, right? Because I know Beyonce's is the Beehive, Mariah is the Lambs. What is Britney Spears' fan base called? Because they might come after you. Be careful. Be careful. Hey, East Asa, we were just asking about you earlier. How are you doing? I hope that you are doing well. Steph says, wow, Dolly. Yeah, she did. She did. And another beautiful thing about Dolly Parton is that she takes the money that she makes from that song in particular and reinvests it into programs for Black youth in I don't know where the region is, but in one of the regions that is close to Whitney Houston's heart, or maybe it's close to her own place. But I always thought that was a really, really beautiful thing that she does. She's such a wonderful person, Dolly Parton. She truly is. I have never heard a bad story about her. Now, in the spirit of Bobby Brown stories, he did also have a controversial take that I wanted to get you guys' opinion on, okay? So we are back into the whole comparing people to Michael Jackson thing, which I thought we were over by now. I feel like people should be free to be whoever they are. I don't think that, listen, why don't we put on the conversation and then you guys let me know in the comment section. We'll talk about it after, okay? I don't want to taint you guys' opinion.
Who is the closest thing to Michael?
I would go with Chris Brown.
Really?
I would go with Chris Brown.
Because of the dancing and the singing aspect
Chris
of it?
Brown is a dancer, singer, slash great entertainer.
Right. Okay.
He goes out there and he does the ultimate stuff on stage, and you just have to love it. Usher's also a great entertainer, but I got to go with Chris on being as close to Michael as anybody could ever get.
And it was great to see Breezy at the Grammy get to win that
finally
Grammy. To finally get his due. Long overdue, but hey, right on.
So there you go. We're still having the conversation about who's this generation or whatever Michael Jackson, and Bobby Brown says it's Chris Brown. And he says that it's not Usher. And then I thought something was so weird, which was when Shay was like, oh, is it because Chris Brown sings and dances? Is Usher a joke to you? Usher sings and dances. He even rollerblades. Or is it roller skate? He even roller skates. Like, what are you talking about? To be honest with you guys, I don't think either of them are this generation's Michael Jackson. Because you know what? Michael Jackson, in addition to being a talented singer and dancer, he was also someone who was very innovative, right? Like wasn't he the first person to do music videos or something like that? And then he was like doing all of these cool different like innovative ways to release music, connect with fans and whatnot. And that's why the fanfare for him is so strong. That's why, to me, I feel like the person closest to Michael Jackson in this generation is not even a man. It's Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter. Because in addition to being a talented singer and dancer, she's also incredibly creative in the way that she releases her music, right? Like when she did Self-Titled, she dropped it like a thief in the middle of the night. It was a full-blown visual album. That was the first time I had ever seen anything like that. And then when she did her Lemonade drop, and it was in collaboration with HBO, it was like a full-blown movie. Then when she does her festivals, and then she collaborates with Netflix to distribute that. And like, she's just so freaking creative. She's always finding a new way to release music. So to me, I'm going to have to say it's Beyonce. I'm sorry, y'all, but it's my B. Anyway, guys, this is a mic check 1 2 1 2. You guys let me know in the live chat who you think it is, or if you're watching the replay as part of my playback posse, let me know in the comment section who you think is the closest to being like Michael Jackson, okay? Although, like Shem Jem says, I don't think that there is no one else like Michael Jackson either, you know? And that's the thing. All of these people have their own unique talents and whatnot. So why are we still trying to relate everything and everybody to Michael Jackson, right? And by the way, I agree, Sawsome, that's it. When you're in the double digits, your teens, your 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, that's the era that you connect with the most because it's your like coming of age. This is like the soundtrack to your coming of age, essentially, right? So it always seems to be the case. Good morning, Acacia. How are you doing? Ramster, yeah, I heard that story about Elvis as well. And, you know, when I watched that Elvis movie, it was a really well done movie. I was kind of sad for the man, hearing about how he could never leave the U.S. as bad as he wanted to because of his shady manager. Ali says, not knock if you butt Chris Brown being compared to Michael Jackson. Exactly. You know, and I still can't believe how popular that man is with women, especially, despite his long history, you know, and apparent hatred of women. Acacia says there's only one Chris Brown. Love him or hate him. I agree. So you think he's the one who's the closest to Michael Jackson, Acacia? Jalisa says Fist Brown. Ali says, is that Usher or his body double? What do you mean? The one who rollerblades? Steph says, I mean, Michael passed the crown to Chris Brown on his 18th. Did he really? Oh, I had no clue. The only time I saw like a Chris Brown, Michael Jackson official link was when Chris Brown did the tribute at the BET Awards. And I gotta say, I think he was putting on his tears because he also wanted to use this as an opportunity to, get some good PR because this was fresh off of him, getting arrested and whatnot for beating up Rihanna. Lou says, I would compare him to Beyonce. Exactly, because of the following. And the Beehive rides hard for our Queen Bee. Ronnie says, Chris Brown is nowhere near the same level of Michael Jackson. And, I got to be honest, I stopped listening to his music after like the third DV situation. So I'm really curious as to what type of music he's putting out these days. Kahara says, Michael Jackson is the only Michael Jackson. I completely agree as well. Jalisa says, Beyonce is this generation's Michael. Definitely not Chris. I agree. I think it's Beyonce, y'all. I really, really do. Jasmine says no one is close to MJ. East Awesome says, although I don't like Chris Brown as a person, I must admit he's close to MJ. Yes, more than Usher. Really? I love Usher and have paid to see him 4 times. Really? Can I be honest with you guys, though? And I don't want people to attack me. I'm joking. You can attack me if you want, but I like Michael Jackson's music, right? Like, there are so many songs of his that I love, and I love the message of some of his songs, like Black or White, Heal the World, Human Nature, things like that, right? But when I think about his vocal ability, and I think about it compared to like the vocal ability of like a Beyonce or like an Usher or whatever, I'm sorry, but I never really thought of Michael as that much of a vocalist, if I'm being really, really honest with you guys. Like, I think he was very charismatic. I think he was a fantastic entertainer as well. But when I'm thinking about the vocals as well, right? And I'm thinking about how, and I'm sorry, I'm a B stan, so I always have to ride for my girl, but the way my girl is doing country, the way she could do opera, the way she, her voice is just so incredible. She's, she's charismatic. She's a talented performer and dancer as well. But like, her voice cannot be denied, to be honest. I can kind of low-key deny Michael Jackson's voice. I'm sorry. He's creative and he was a great everything, but I'm sorry. Was his voice really all that strong? Because I think his voice was kind of like like light and flimsy a little bit, to me anyway, right? But listen, maybe I'm gonna have to go back and listen to some of his music to get a different perspective on it. But for me, I don't know. I think his vocal ability is a little bit overrated, if I can be honest with you guys. Sheena says there can never be another MJ, but honestly, yes, I'd give the title to Crown. When it comes to entertainment, singing, dancing, etc., no one else performs that way. I feel not even Beyonce. Chris is always out of breath when he's dancing. They used to drag him. They used to say, if you want to dance so bad, then like be a dancer. Stop trying to, be a singer then, because he would be out of breath and he would just be lip syncing. But my girl, she is so good at doing it both. Okay, she says Chris is the closest to me. None of the men. Yeah, I think when it comes to the men, I see what people are saying, but I think it's just because I have to be a Chris hater now. Just it's my thing now. Tadisha says Chris has already said there would be no him without MJ. He doesn't like to compare himself to someone so great, right? And I feel like that is the case for so many people as well. Like MJ really was the blueprint for a lot of R&B and artists like that. Shem says his vocals are great. He started doing that eccentric stuff later on. Remember when he was a child too? That is true. I really loved his voice as a child. Really good. ABC and whatnot. Lucky says, girl, Michael has range. You got to listen to his songs with his lower register. Does he have a lower register? I'm joking. I'm going to go take a listen. Would you suggest to me, by the way, Lucky, like what songs he has that he like puts his lower register into? Is it like You Were Not, I don't know. There's that song he did, I Just Can't Stop Loving You. I love that song. I love the song he did with Stevie Wonder and everybody. What was the song where like they involved everybody in the music world? And I saw the documentary about this on Netflix. It was so good. They went and they started recording. See, Nikki agrees with me. They started recording this like right after the Grammy Award ceremony, and it was to raise money for Africa. What was that song? Damn it. But I really like him in that song too. What is that song called? We Are the World. I love, love, love that song. Listen, I like his music. I have so many of his songs on my Spotify, but to be honest, I've never really thought of him as a strong vocalist. I'm sorry. Why don't we get into the Michelle Trachtenberg story, guys? Michelle Trachtenberg, as you guys remember, she passed away and it was a very shocking story for us all because we all loved her so much. She has been in Hollywood forever. She was a child actress. A lot of us remembered her from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Harriet the Spy, Gossip Girl, etc. And so learning that this young woman had passed away was very devastating to all of her fans around the world. And now we have found out the official cause of her death. The New York City office of the chief medical examiner confirmed to People magazine, which I think is odd that they're releasing statements on behalf of someone to People magazine. I think it should be her family releasing this kind of information if they want it out there, but I digress. They released this information yesterday that Michelle's sudden death was a result of complications of diabetes mellitus. And so as such, her death has officially been ruled as natural. Okay. The family objected to an autopsy. And so they wanted for the death to be ruled undetermined, but ultimately an autopsy was indeed done and found that all of this had to do with complications with diabetes. There were rumors going that she had undergone a liver transplant recently and that perhaps that did not take the way that they had hoped it would take in her body. So yeah, now it's still so sad, honestly, even just looking at this picture of young Michelle, and this is a very recent photo of her as well. It's so sad and it's so scary. I'm really, really sad to hear about her passing. And I really hope that she is resting in peace and that her family is okay, because now hearing that it's the chief medical examiner talking to a magazine about her passing, I find it to be very weird. At the end of the day, she is a real person with a real family. And if the family wanted this information out there, they would have put that out there. So there's something that feels very off about that to me personally. I'm just saying. And yes, you guys, that was the song. If you haven't seen the documentary on Netflix yet, you definitely should. It was really, really good. And like someone said here, who said it? Yes, it was you, Ramster, about how Prince was supposed to go, but then he didn't show up. And then he sent the Sheila East. No, or did they? I thought the rumor was that Michael and his people brought Sheila as a way to lure Prince in, but Prince refused because he wanted to be the star. Since I'm over here maybe embarrassing myself in terms of musical taste, can I tell you something? And let me pull up my Spotify. There's this song that I had heard in passing from time to time over the years, but I had no idea it was a Prince song. And I just added it to my library. and I have been listening to it ad nauseum. And I feel so like, how am I just now hearing about this song? Okay, where is it? It's called Kiss, I think, by Prince. I love this song. I was like, how did I not know this song before? Like, I've only heard it like when people are singing it on like American Idol or something. But now I'm obsessed. I really love that song. I love Purple Rain as well, but Kiss right now is really up there for me as well. Oh, we've got Ty's Hot Mess History in the building. Hey, boo. Ty has an awesome YouTube channel where she really, really, really digs in to some amazing historical stories that you guys should check out. Ty says, so sad. I knew of her from Gossip Girl so young. Right? She was such a talented, charismatic actress, such a beautiful girl, beautiful woman as well. And she was so full of life. And, it really felt as though she was dedicated to her craft. And so it's just so sad that she has suddenly passed away. I'm sorry, Nikki. Thank you so much for the love, y'all. Thank you. It's a little bit embarrassing that I had no clue that was a Prince song this entire time. I have to go down on the rabbit hole on him too. I'm wondering if there's like a documentary on him on like Netflix or ID or whatever, because I love that. Acacia says, why did some guy sing at the karaoke bar back in the day? Sing that to me. Oh, he was trying to get with you, girl. He was trying to get with you. East Austin says, sorry, but I've never been able to enjoy a Prince song sober. Oh, really? Not even Purple Rain? Not even Kiss? That song is so good. It's such a good song. Tom Jones covered it, and it was his comeback. Really? I'm going to have to check that out, too. I love it so much. Wow, Ruthann, look, where are you? You look like you were having the time of your life on your vacation, all bronzed up and everything, glowing. Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts, Kiss. Right, and I love that movie as well. That was a really good movie. I think that was the first Julia Roberts movie I have ever watched, and it was really good. You guys, why don't we switch gears into the Cheyenne ring upgrade story? Again, y'all know her from Teen Mom Next Chapter. She's married to Zach. What is Zach's last name, y'all? Zach, I can't keep up. Cheyenne Floyd, Zach something. And so she got an upgrade to her engagement ring, which to me, I think it's crazy. The girl's been married for all of 2 minutes and we're already upgrading the thing. Okay. Second of all, her husband is like unemployed. And so are we supposed to believe that he paid for this upgrade too? Okay. Take a look at this. Okay, you guys. So she incorporated her original ring, which was that beautiful 3-carat cushion cut ring. And then she got a 5-carat pear cut ring to add to it to make a Toi Moi ring. I have to be honest with you guys. Sorry to the Toi Moi ring community, but I cannot stand these rings. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm pissing off so many people today, but I do not like these rings. I don't like asymmetry. I like when things are perfectly symmetrical and even, So individually, I love pear rings. I love this pear. It's a gorgeous pear. I love the cushion cut ring. I actually think cushion cut might be my favorite cut, right? Very, very beautiful. But then when you put them together and then you try to stack a band under them, like your wedding band, it just, to me, I don't like it. Something about it makes my left shoulder itch. Okay. So take a look. This is what it looks like on Cheyenne's hand, by the way. The jeweler who commissioned the piece made a whole video about it. So I just know this is some sort of a collaboration. Mind you guys, listen, I'm going to play the video and then you guys let me know what you think about it all. Okay. And I'm going to share some of my thoughts. So that's what it looks like on Cheyenne's finger. To me, it's just too much. It's a little bit obnoxious. Again, I don't like the asymmetry. And then on top of that, I don't think you can even put a band under that either. I'm not a fan. I'm not at all. Sorry. Take a look at the video and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Sorry, Cheyenne. Where did I put that damn video? Here it is.
So excited to share with you Cheyenne and Zach's finished new ring upgrade. It's hot off the bench, handmade here in Denver, Colorado. As you can see, here is her original 3-carat cushion cut set with her new 4.5-carat pear cut diamond. We're so excited for you, Cheyenne, to rock this ring.
Thank you guys. His name is Davis, Zach Davis. Yes. Jaleesa says she doesn't believe that Zach is unemployed. The whole storyline was trying to get this man a job, remember? She was like, is there anything you're passionate about, Zach? Like, are you sure? Like, you don't want to work? And so he was trying to be a firefighter for a bit. Wasn't he trying to do real estate for a bit? And he's over here begging her for more kids. Meanwhile, he ain't got no job. And then on top of that, she's working all the jobs. And then on top of that, she's the one who has to get up and get the kids ready for school and ask him to do things to help her get the kids ready for school. I always wondered, why would such a beautiful girl, a beautiful rich girl, settle for that? But I digress. Acacia says, so did Cheyenne pay for it? LMAO. I think well, listen, unless they accept Monopoly money, I think she paid for it. Shayna says, wait, unemployed since when? I thought he was working with the dad's company. Listen, that's part of the storyline that he works there from time to time, and that he's like being an apprentice in order to take it over. But I don't believe that he's really putting in all that much work over there, to be honest with you. Like, maybe he used some of the Teen Mom salary to pay for this or something like that. But I'm sorry. I'm going to assume that it was Cheyenne that paid for this thing. Just like I assume that it's she who paid for the original ring. Though I wonder if it's like natural diamond or lab diamond. Y'all know I am team lab diamond, and it is a lot cheaper. So if it is lab, then maybe he used some of his Teen Mom money to pay for it, but otherwise I'm not sure. Ronnie says, I don't like it either. It looks weird together. Let me put it back up again, okay, you guys? Because yeah, it's not, I'm sorry, but it's not. I liked her original. And again, why do you need an upgrade? You got married a year and a half ago. Is this like a thing that you do? Like you get an upgrade every year or something like that? I don't get it. Jessica doesn't like it either. Al says, I love that you're in your RHRH collection. I don't care. I love HRH collection. She used to be on my For You page all the time, but I haven't seen her in a while. Now I got to go purposely look for her. Thanks for reminding me, El. Jazz says, I'm with you, Grace. That ring is not my cup of tea. Look, it looks like y'all are not feeling this ring at all. And I don't blame you guys. I don't like it. It's just, it's a beautiful pair. It's a beautiful cushion cut, but together I do not like it. There's no harmony. And I don't like when you turn things on the side. I feel like it's bad feng shui and bad luck. Ali says it gives very much new money. And that's the thing. Yeah. Like just the gaudiness and the flashiness of it. It's just too much. It's too much. Cheyenne, please. I thought we were like in this kind of like understated, clean, classic, like, what do they call it? Quiet luxury era. So when I see things like this still coming out, I'm like, oh God. You too, Shem. They're beautiful, right? They're so, so beautiful. You've got good taste. I love cushion cuts. The people say that like they appear smaller than they are. So for example, when you look at her cushion cut, they said it was 3 carats, I believe, but at face value, you would not think that. But I like it. It allows you to get like a good size. Without it looking like too much, like gaudy or anything like that. So I hate that she went and then got it with got an overpowering tilted pair tacked on. Sorry, there's no harmony there. Ramster says, I've never owned any jewelry, no ear piercings, no tattoos. My first and only wedding ring gave me the GGs. Really? Is it like a sensory thing? What's Tia? And Monica is classic as well, right? I feel like solitaires are nice. I know people don't like halos or whatever, but I do think that some halos can be beautiful as well. I really especially like Art Deco halos. I really, really love them. But yeah, Shem says you can put a band under or top, but it would be so ugly. I'm sorry, it would be so ugly with that. The two rings there, or the 2 diamonds there already is just so damn busy. And then when you throw a third or another ring on top, oh, it would be too much for me. Oh my God, so overwhelming. I'm sorry. Isasa says it's chunky. I get annoyed with stuff on my hands. I had to get an elastic sports band in my past life when I was engaged, and that was annoying too, right? I feel you. It's just too much. Sorry, Cheyenne. Your original ring was so beautiful. I don't know why you had to go and do this, girl. Sorry. Why don't we get into something a little bit more positive, okay, you guys? You see, Jasmine, the asymmetry is too much. Listen, we got more positive news. We're going to talk about Khloe Kardashian whooping some ass. So she was on the Call Her Daddy podcast recently. And so she shared the story about how she beat up Lamar's mistresses, and she wound up with bloody knuckles and went to party the same night. Take a look at what she had to say in her interview. I thought it was rather funny, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
He was doing I remember my ex-husband, and he remembers this story, I'm sure. We were married. He was doing his thing, and he went down to some motel in downtown LA and was with a girl, and I was young. Not that, I mean, I'm like maybe 26, something like that. Probably still old enough to not behave like this, but I was there, and I remember asking the guy at the front, I was like, hey, is Lamar Odom, where's Lamar Odom? Like, he's this big guy. You can identify him. He told me what room he was in. I saw in the window that him and this girl they were either naked or she was in lingerie, something like that. I knocked on the door. They answered it for some reason, and I just started going ballistic. And I remember the next day, it was, I think, Penelope's birthday party, and it was a cowboy party, and my knuckles were all bloody and gross, and I just had bandanas wrapped around. I was on theme, and I acted as if nothing ever happened. And I don't think I ever said a thing. He could not understand how I knew where he was. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm not telling anybody anything. And why are you in a motel in downtown LA at 3 a.m?
The best part is you're saying, you're like, he's like, how did you find out? Khloe, they're always like, how did you find out? You're like, it doesn't matter. Why are you doing
Why are
this?
you here? But also, everyone told, like, it's like you're this 7-foot tall man. You're on the Lakers. Everyone knows who you are. You're very identifiable. So I think how I found out was people on Twitter were like, Lamar Odom is da-da-da. And so I, of course, am that psychotic. I searched his hashtag for his name. Of course, like
It's
any
not
real
psychotic.
girl does.
No. Oh my God. Do you remember like that? I used to go, if I knew he was at a certain club, I'd like go to the
Yes.
Instagram story of the club.
Of course.
See who's tagging at the club. Then you go to their page.
Oh no, it's that you never sleep.
And so that was the story that she told about what went down when she found out that Lamar was at a motel with other women. And the whole thing is really odd to me, because why would she be on Twitter searching his hashtag if that wasn't a thing that he was doing already in the past? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it sounds like that wasn't the first time, right? Like, she was already like kind of on edge and looking up that sort of thing because she knew that something was up, which makes me very sad for her that she was even in that position. You know, it seems like in all of her relationships, she finds herself to be in that position at a certain point. And I find that to be very devastating on her behalf, to be honest with you guys. And it actually got me kind of thinking, has that ever happened to you guys where you suspected your partner of cheating and it kind of drove you a little bit crazy and you found yourself doing things that you normally would not do to try and catch them in the act? Just curious. Let me see what y'all have to say. EXO says that she doesn't like that Khloe talk. It's very like contrived way that all of like the famous girlies are speaking like these days. And it's, yeah, I get what you mean. Ramster wonders why Khloe always blames the other women. Here's my thing. I thought that at first too, but I was like, listen, if you gotta beat up someone, I think it would be very hard to beat up a 7-foot tall Laker player. So all you can do is beat up the chick that's over there with him at that point. Because what can you do with Lamar? I saw a video on this actually on TikTok recently, which is like this girl. It's kind of like this Karen type lady. This guy's fishing, minding his own business in a pond. And so she comes or on the lake and she's like, you're not supposed to be fishing in this neighborhood. And so for no reason, she tries to push him in there by like tackling him in the water. But the guy, he's so strong and so much bigger than her that she literally bounces off of him. That's what would happen if she tried to like, you know, land a 1-2 on him. So all she could do was go and beat up the other girls. I imagine that she probably, you know, it was a fair fight for her with the other women. Exactly. He's awesome. He put her through hell. I feel so bad for her. And Jaleesa says she does everything but leave. Listen, it took her a while, but thank God she finally did it. Snap says keeping away from the Kardashians. And that's the thing I do not understand is that these guys, they go so far out of their way to get with these women, right? They put them on this pedestal and whatnot. Like they're the most beautiful, they're the this, they're the that. And then when they get them, they mistreat them. So why go through all of that just to put these women through hell? It seems so sick and twisted and sadistic. I wish they would have just left these women alone, right? I had heard stories. People were saying that Lamar was engaged to Taraji P. Henson or something like that. But I think that he had like broken up with Taraji, or maybe she called it off because they were just dating and engaged for too long and there was no movement there. And then he found Khloe and, you know, got engaged to her in like a heartbeat, right? What was it, 30 days or something like that? And how often do you hear these kinds of stories, right? About a woman being with a man like forever and he won't either propose or he won't set a date for a wedding, and then boom, they break up and he finds the next chick and does it in the blink of an eye or something like that, right? Tadisha says she can beat down Lamar's mistress but turned a blind eye to trash can Thompson's, right? And not only that, she acted like the girl was the one who did everything, to ruin her quote unquote family. Again, if that was your family, why were you home alone pregnant on your first Valentine's Day or your last Valentine's Day as a couple, just two people? It just never made any kind of sense. Jazz says, Khloe still hasn't learned to put herself first after that toxic situation. And she's over there with Trash Can. She talked about that. She said that she had been celibate for like a year or two and that she hasn't been dating for a while since the surrogate was pregnant with Tatum, and that she's gotten really comfortable with it, and she doesn't know if she's going to be ready to go back and get back into the dating pool. Gwen says, I'm shorter than Janelle Evans, and even I can see a 7-foot person in a crowded club. Exactly. Lamar Motel of all places is crazy. Why would you go and do that? You were not going to get away with it, especially when he was a Laker player. When he was a Laker player, out there playing with Kobe and Shaq, everybody knew those, the big three. Even I knew them. I used to watch basketball at that time. You guys, speaking of sports, why don't we get into Serena Williams, tennis legend, tennis great. Serena Williams is now opening up about her iconic Super Bowl performance. I remember when she did some crip walking to Kendrick Lamar's infamous Drake diss track, Not Like Us. She is now claiming that she was not at all trying to diss Drake by dancing on that song, which, I'm sorry, girl, but be so effing for real, okay? So she did an interview with Time Magazine, and she said, and I quote, there was zero shade being thrown. Absolutely not. I would never do that. And that was sad that anyone would ever think that. I respect how they could, but obviously I can see how someone would think that, but absolutely not. I have never had negative feelings towards him. We've known him for so many years. And then, when it comes to whether or not she regrets even getting on the stage, doing the dance, being associated with the Drake diss track, Serena says that she doesn't know if she regrets it or not. I don't know the answer to that. The opportunity to get on that stage and amplify my hometown was just an exciting thing that I couldn't pass up, opportunity that I couldn't pass up. Here's my thing. Serena, I think you did that to diss Drake, and I think you should have done that to diss Drake because Drake has been harassing you and your husband for several years. How many times has Drake gone unprovoked trying to diss your husband or whatever? Like, he's done that so many times. And so I think that he deserved it, to be honest, right? And so why don't you just own it? Like, I think it's weird that you can say that your family or you guys have never had any ill feelings towards a man who has been talking crap about your marriage for years. To me, that's not like something that's admirable. To me, that's something that's like, oh, that's sad. Like, you don't respect your marriage, you don't respect your husband or something. Like, why are you okay with, your ex-boyfriend saying weird things about your husband? And on top of that, in the song, you knew what type of song it was that you were dancing to. It was a Drake diss track. You knew you were going to be linked as co-signing it because you're his ex, and everybody knows he disrespects you. He disrespects your husband. And on top of that, there's a line in the song specifically made to defend you. Kendrick Lamar said that Drake better not speak on Serena because even Kendrick was clocking how Drake was so obsessed with you. He was like that obsessed ex that will not go away. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Just own it. Say, yeah, I did it and I do it again. I don't understand why you need to play dumb about this. I cannot stand when people play dumb. You, especially as a brand, a global brand, you knew what you were doing. And to me, it was iconic when you did it. I said, good, go stick up for yourself. Because typically she doesn't say anything when Drake is on Twitter hating on her or hating on her husband. So to be able to say something without even opening up your mouth, and you're on the biggest stage of all, which is the Super Bowl halftime show, hell yeah. So for you to walk it back and try to act like that's not what it was, sorry, but go away from me with this, Apollo. Stop it. Same, Lucky, same. I don't like cowardice. I really don't. Tadisha says Serena just needs to be honest. She was dissing Drake, and that's okay. Exactly. We were all dissing Drake. All of us. Drake is done. Exactly. I actually don't think she was really. I believe he's a full non-factor in her life. But that song, it was a diss track specifically And then there's a line defending Serena, saying that Drake should not speak on her. And then there she does. She pops out. East Austin says Serena's a liar because Drake was insulting her husband shortly before that performance. Exactly. Serena, own it. Own it. It is okay. You can diss Drake. The whole world is dissing Drake. Anyway, you guys, we keep the show moving because after this, I'm doing a members only live chat. And we're going to be talking about Jace from Teen Mom. And I haven't even uploaded the photos. StreamYard was being weird, so I wasn't able to upload those photos. I got to get ready to do that before we get into that story. But there's a lot of Nene Leakes information that I want to share with you guys. Nene Leakes launched her YouTube channel, and I have to say, I'm taking notes about the set that she's using. It is absolutely gorgeous, stunning, okay? Beautiful. I want something like that when I start building my studio. And so she was talking a little bit about what's happening with Real Housewives of Atlanta, with them firing Kenya, why they had to hire Phaedra last minute. And I want to see what y'all think of her opinions. Okay, you guys, take a look.
And now Kenya's gone.
And how do you feel about that? Do you feel like the show will survive without her?
I feel like without having Kenya, it's going to be interesting. I would like to really see where this goes because Kenya is a fire starter, and that is part of the entertainment that the viewers love, that Kenya is a fire starter. And to not have her there to start any fires, now I'm starting to think this is why they went and got Phaedra. They wanted Phaedra to try to come on and help save. That's what it feels like.
I would agree. I feel like some of the storylines are a little dry. Yeah. I don't really want to keep seeing, Drew and Dennis and Porsha. Yeah. Shamia and Porsha. That's just been a thing.
What do you think about Shamia? Oh my God, her lifestyle is everything.
I love seeing Shamia's family and that, she was kind of sitting on this and, she's not really boastful. So it was a surprise to me, and I just love seeing Black excellence. So to see her large home and just her family dynamic, her beautiful daughter, I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I do. Do you think she makes a great housewife?
She does.
Yeah,
she does.
I love this.
She embodies what a housewife is. I mean, she's married.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people on the show that are not
married with children, and they have a lifestyle.
And she works.
And she works. Yeah, even though her husband has this a great amount of income, she still works. And that I say this to women all the time. It doesn't matter what your husband is doing. You should work. Get out there and work because you need your own money. When you just rely on a man to do everything, you're giving him all the control. And that you should never do.
So there you go. Did you guys see how beautiful her set is? It's gorgeous. I love, love, love the colors that she's using, the design and everything. And I think it's great hearing her share her thoughts. And it feels very professional that she's got someone, to kind of bounce ideas off of, almost like she's a guest being interviewed on her own show. Something about it is really cool. Hey, Nadia, nice to see you. Drake has so much pull. And I think that's why people, although it was very cool and it was this big thing, a big movement, now I'm seeing a lot of people kind of like backtrack a little bit. And I'm with you. I find it to be very weird. I think he does deserve to be called out. So I liked Nene's opinions that she's sharing about like Kenya being a good housewife, Shamia, the Phaedra being called in to help kind of fill in the gap with Kenya's absence and whatnot. I think she's got a lot of really good, valid opinions about that, to be honest with you guys. And that's the thing about Nene, like with her being the greatest housewife of all times, she knows the game, right? She knows the game better than anybody. And so I think it's a huge compliment to be able to receive that sort of like kudos from her. East Austin says Nene was an awful housewife on her last few seasons. I can agree with that. She was similar to Kyle Richards in that she didn't want to share and was barely interacting with the cast. Exactly. And to me, again, the crazy thing is that despite that, to me, she is still the gold standard, the best to ever do it. And it is sad that like there were those moments of her kind of being extremely difficult. Remember, they even had to stage an intervention because she was so insufferable, you guys, right? Nada says, yes, me too. And Tadisha says, I like Nene's opinion, right? She's really got it going on. And she did also, share some thoughts on Porsha and on Candy. Can someone fill me in on what she has against Candy Burris? Because, and I didn't download this video, so I'll just tell you about it. But she was asked by that lady, like, who would you prefer to have sing for you, like at a live event you're throwing? Would it be Ashley Darby from The Real Housewives of Potomac? Or would it be Candy Burris, like the singer-songwriter from Escape and everything like that, her own solo career? And you know what Nene says? she would rather Ashley Darby sing. She hates Candy. Y'all know I love Candy. I think she's an amazing, she's one of the best, like most genuine, people out there. I agree that her voice isn't the best. However, if I were throwing an event, I would 1,000% without question ask Candy to sing for me. Never, ever, ever Ashley. I thought it was really crazy and kind of disrespectful that she'd even say that, knowing, you know what that is? That's my protein powder. Guys, give me a second. I got to play a word from some of our sponsors and I'll be right back. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. Okay, so he should be coming up. Give me a second. So yeah, I saw Nikki's comment here about how Candy makes her feel inferior. And I do think it has to do with that as well, because she was always coming for her from the very beginning, and Candy had never even done anything to her. Give me a second, you guys. I think he's here. No. Not yet, so I'm gonna keep going. Jasmine says, I just hope Nene starts taking this seriously and keeps the consistency. She can really thrive if she put effort into her show. And I completely agree. Listen, she's definitely invested, at least financially. So I hope she continues to really bring it. Take a look at what she has to say about Porsha, okay?
When you marry somebody, they become first. Even your parents, it becomes second to the person that you're married to.
Now, you've hung out with Porsha and Simon, I think several times.
I have.
Do you feel like it was ever real?
Well, is this a game? Are we pleading the fifth? Because I plead the fifth.
It's not every day I get to sit down with you, so I have to know. Do you feel like...
Is this called sip and drink or something?
Okay.
I'm a drink on that one, honey.
Do you feel like Porsha loved him? Do you feel like Simon loved Porsha?
Yes. Simon loved Porsha.
Okay. We'll just leave that there.
Okay, you guys, it's here. I ordered some protein powder because I don't need enough protein naturally. I said, listen, I'm trying to get my gains. I want to have Tiana Taylor's body. I want to have Lori Harvey's body. Let me get some damn protein in here. So anyway, she really cannot stand Candy, and to me, it's like we were talking about earlier, right? Like Nikki was talking about earlier. It's because she feels inferior to Candy. There's a lot of weird things she would say about Candy, like Candy is hood, Candy is ghetto, she's this, she's that. Like very unprovoked. It was very odd when Candy was like the richest out of all of them, not only monetarily, but in experience as well. Jasmine says, I just hope Nene, we already talked about that. And I agree. I think she's got a good platform there. And the one thing I don't like about Nene is that sometimes she can take things to a very dark and ugly place. And so I really, really hope that, although she's going to be adding shade and like her own like commentary and whatnot, I hope that she keeps things like to a reasonable level, right? Because people do not like it when things get a little bit too dark and too ugly, right? Like, with the unprovoked comments about Candy, like Fly Above is a bop. And you know what else is another bop? Put it on and make a man to marry me. I like that song. I think that's a funny, nice song. So yeah, you listen, I'm rooting for Nene. And you know what? In the spirit of Nene having her thing, and I'm with you, Luz, Ashley can never open up her yap and try to sing at any of my events. What about Kenya? She did a trailer for her show, but did she ever actually drop it? I'm still waiting. Nadia says, I don't want to hear Ashley. And again, neither Candy. And that's the thing. Listen, and you know what? Speaking of Candy, not only was Nene criticizing her music, she brought on one of like Candy's haters on the show, someone that Candy used to work with from Escape, and then they fell out. Like this kind of like targetedness towards Candy is very weird. You know, she's got a fixation with Candy, and I hate it. Thank you, Ashley. I'm going to be making my smoothies. I'm so freaking excited. Now, you guys, why don't we get into the Lisa Vanderpump story? I can't believe we're pulling this off. We had like 10 stories today, so many, and somehow we're pulling it off in a reasonable amount of time. And do you guys also believe, by the way, that Simon loved Porsha, but Porsha didn't love Simon? To me, neither of them loved the other. They rushed into things. They both loved the idea of each other. I think Simon loved the idea of a beautiful wife who was famous and can bring him that kind of clout and legitimacy and connections. And I think Porsha loved the idea of a husband who was rich and willing to share his riches with her, right? And that's why she was able to ship quit so quickly when that was threatened. Tadisha says, I hate the way that Porsha is crying on the show about her marriage when she knows she was going after Simon's money. Love was never there. Exactly. And then when she brought in like the daughter, where's Papa? Girl, your daughter should have never been calling that random man Papa. You barely knew that man. So why was it, stop it. East Awesome says, was it real? I drink too and say that's none of my business. Woo, period. And Nene was one of the first to call Porsha out for getting with someone's husband, right? She's like, really? That's someone's husband. Girl, you're engaged to someone's husband? That is weird. Jasmine says, I think it's supposed to drop sometime today. Kenya's YouTube video. Listen, she's late. That thing was supposed to drop like before. Oh yeah, no. See, you're right, Jazz. Today. I thought she missed her deadline, but no. Here's my thing. She should have dropped that thing on a Sunday or on a Monday. Why are you dropping it on a Thursday, girl? You're supposed to write off the fact that your show airs on Sundays, right? Come on now. East Austin says Lisa Vanderpump and Candy Burris have made most of their Real Housewives fame business after business promoted on Bravo. Exactly. And, it's crazy to me that Nene has not been able to do that with her level of fame, to come and put out something that could be extremely successful. I will give her like her props for trying with her boutique and her lounge, but I'm sad that she wasn't able to do something bigger. And, as we transition into the Lisa Vanderpump story, don't forget that Nene wanted to open a restaurant over there in LA, and then Lisa told her that the place was not a good place. And then didn't she go and open up like one of her restaurants in that same exact place? Very shady lady, right? So the LVP story I've got for you guys is her doing damage control because James's ex-girlfriend Allie called her out on the Nick Viall podcast for trying to push her to get back with James after it came out that he was arrested for allegedly getting violent with her. And so now Lisa has done an interview with Us Weekly magazine in which she talks about the situation and how she too is done with James. She said, and I quote, I've had so much patience with him. I was so happy to see him with Allie and doing so well. I know it's a disease, but at some point you've got to say, I cannot support this anymore with some people when they keep making the same mistakes. I did talk to Allie at great length and she reassured me that nothing happened physically. She called the altercation drunken nonsense. I needed to hear from Allie too, from her mouth, what happened. She told me categorically that he didn't hurt her. He never hurts her. They were both drinking. So there you go. Again, I don't believe that Allie is telling the truth about what really happened that night. I think that she's very strategic with her wording, as we have discussed already ad nauseum with her Instagram story and then with her Nick Viall podcast thing. She never straight on says that James did not put his hands on me. James has never been violent with me. All she said is it didn't hurt. He didn't hurt me. Listen, he didn't hurt me and was not violent with me are two completely different things. The fact that she's incapable of saying that this man was never violent with her, that this man has never put a hand or a finger on her, that already says everything you need to know, right? Michelle says, I'll never get over thinking it was Porsha thinking it was a real road. That girl, bless her heart. I don't know how she's helping her daughter with her homework. Let's just say that. He also says this is BS. Lisa's always on James's side and is close friends with his family. English colonizer, damn, we'll stick together. I believe that James hit that girl. He's hit other girls. And it's always crazy to me the connection that they have. And you guys know I'm on my rewatch. Now I'm on season 7 and like his dad has come by and then the mom and everything. James has just gotten fired for the millionth time. And I finally see why she's so like obsessed with trying to like save him or protect him or ride for him. She says that he reminds her so much of her own brother. Her own brother was a DJ with like an alcohol problem and this and that. And so because she couldn't save her brother, she was been trying with James. And I find that to be very, very sad. Jasmine says she's choosing her words carefully. Exactly. The fact that she cannot speak so freely and casually, it tells you something more than what she's letting on happen. I don't, whenever you have to read through the lines on what someone is saying and it's not a clear message. And, speaking of English colonizers, I'm sorry, but when someone asks you, do you have cancer? And you say cancer cells have been present in my body and never, yes, I have cancer. I find that very interesting. Okay. I find that to be very interesting, that people have to read between the lines of what it is that you are saying. Now, why don't we get into our final story of the day? We're leaving it off on a good note, okay, you guys? The cast of Abbott Elementary was all there to support Cheryl Lee Ralph in her fantastic achievement of getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They all showed out, looked absolutely gorgeous, and we're all there to really support and celebrate her. And I think it's beautiful. There's Gregory, there's Quinta. This is amazing. Wow. I love this. I love the cast of the show. It's always so nice when you're able to see a cast that gets along and is so damn supportive of each other on and off the set, you guys. And so I really feel like these are people who are going to stay in each other's lives even when the show is over as well. And so, I think they did a fantastic job. And I will tell you guys, I only watch Abbott Elementary when I'm on flights because I don't have HBO, unfortunately, and I love HBO. I have too many streaming services, y'all. I can't keep up, but not HBO. This lady who has like the red hair, she's dressed exactly like her character would be dressed for an event like this, right? And I just, sometimes it feels like people are just so perfectly cast for their characters. Even the guy over there with his very like fancy, print suit and whatnot. He too, I feel like his character would dress like that for an event like this. Everyone is just so on par with who their characters are. And I love it. They live and breathe their characters. And so I think that that's a very beautiful thing. And, I love the old Hollywood barrel curls that Cheryl Lee Ralph has and everything. She looks absolutely gorgeous, stunning, just perfect. Her daughter is her stylist, you guys, and she absolutely never misses. Like she always looks, like Spaz is saying, classy, elegant. She really, has taken such good care of herself, and it shows in every aspect. And I like the elegance, the taste that she and her daughter have for clothing as well. They never miss, and it's absolutely stunning. Ashley says she voice acted in Oliver and Company and made my childhood. Isn't that beautiful? Jasmine says it's way overdue, to be honest. And I agree. She's been in there forever. I didn't know she was in Dreamgirls. Like, it's so crazy to find that out now. Oh, it's on ABC. Okay, let me see how I can get onto ABC. Thanks, Esau. I thought it was on HBO. Let me see how I can watch it because I like it. I like that show a lot. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Morning Report. I'm about to go live very soon. Let me find the link for you guys. I'm going to be talking about Jace from Teen Mom and all of his cries for help on social media about his situation with his alleged mother, Janelle Evans. It's very dark and it's very sad. Again, it's not surprising at all. We all knew that things would turn out this way, unfortunately, with this child, just based off of, his upbringing and who his biological mother is at the end of the day. And I hate that he was seemingly doing so well with Barbara, right? And so for Janelle to go and take him from Barbara's house, right, and just demand to have him, and for Barbara to finally give in, and then for her to turn his life into this, just constant police calls and running away and all this stuff is just so devastating. It really is. You never used to hear all this kind of news about Jace. This has only happened since he got back in Janelle's grips. And I'm so sad about it. So listen, shout out to my channel members. Everybody can go ahead and watch it, of course. I'm putting the link here. But the chat is going to be channel member exclusive. So this is just a test run for a show that I want to run on Mondays, Member Mondays. Okay. So yeah, show up, show out, and let me know what you think. Okay, you guys. In the meantime, once again, thank y'all so much for joining me for another episode of the Morning Report. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for more of the day's hottest stories. Take care, you guys. Bye.